Hello coaches and players, this is Gina speaking again. This video is for lesson 4. Your golf fundamental is about target awareness and the distance to the target. So for this lesson, you should be thinking about the height and size of the obstacles between you and your target. And if you were using regular clubs, which I'm about to show you, you would think about which club you want to use to get the ball higher or farther over, around, and beyond your obstacles that are between you and your target. Now in Drive for Success, you guys only have 2 clubs. You've got your putter and then your irons, and the only difference between the irons is the height based on how tall you are. So you don't really get to choose something based on the loft or the angle of the club face. So when you get a chance to later in your session with this lesson, you'll have a better idea as to what club you want to pick. So the idea of loft is that it's the angle of the club face that controls the trajectory and affects distance. For a trajectory, think about a rainbow, and the ball takes a rainbow-like pathway or flight through the air. So the smaller the angle of the club face, the lower the loft, or the shorter the rainbow will be. And the higher the angle, the higher the rainbow will be. So if you have a hill in front of you or some bushes in front of you that you need to hit the ball over, you want something with a higher loft. And if maybe you've got a body of water in front of you, you don't necessarily want to go high, but you need to get past it. So maybe a lower loft with a greater distance. So as you can see, this is a set of clubs. As you start on the left here, and actually from the driver is your longest one, and then we have a 3 all the way over to your sand and then your putter. The clubs get shorter as the angles get higher. So let me stand them up and you can look down and see what the angles look like. Here's your driver. These usually have a very small angle, which is a lower loft. And then I'll hold up the 3 on one end of the spectrum here. Excuse me. And this is your pitching wedge. So if you're looking down on them, you can see that the 3 has a very small angle, but the pitching wedge, you can see almost the entire club face because it's turned upwards towards you. So the pitching wedge is going to get under the ball more and help it get higher up in the air to get over any sort of obstacles that you may have in front of you. And then the only other one is the putter, which tends to have very little to no angle because you don't want, when you're putting, you don't want the ball to go up in the air. You're rolling it across the green. One thing about putting though, you do want to consider any sort of slopes on the green. So you don't want the ball to go up necessarily, but hitting the ball at different forces might make the ball roll down the hill faster or up the hill faster. So think about slope on the green as well. So that is a little bit about target awareness and distance to the target and considering the height and size of obstacles between you and your target, and then making a good choice about which club you want to use. Thanks for joining me.